Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Here we are again at Matchless Gifts, 26 2nd Avenue, on Dwadasi Day, reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Where are we reading?
Canto 4, Chapter 22, Text 42.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Alright, text 42. The king said, O Brahmana, O powerful one, formerly Lord Vishnu showed me his causeless mercy, indicating that you would come to my house, and to confirm that blessing you have all come. Purport. When Lord Vishnu appeared in the great arena of sacrifice, at the time when King Prithu was performing a great sacrifice, Ashwamedha, he predicted that the Kumaras would very soon come and advise the king. Therefore, Prithu Maharaj remembered the causeless mercy of the Lord, and thus welcomed the arrival of the Kumaras, who were fulfilling the Lord's prediction. In other words, when the Lord makes a prediction, he fulfills that prediction through some of his devotees. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted that both his glorious names and the Hare Krishna Mahamantra would be broadcast in all the towns and villages of the world. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada desired to fulfill this great prediction, and we are following in their footsteps.
Wonderful.
And it's so humble, I've got to say this, not that we need to, that's the end of that paragraph. But Prabhupada, I'm saying, is so humble, because not to take away anything from the Mahajans that are Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada Goswami, not to take anything away from them, but actually...
Except their names. Anyway, go ahead.
Because actually, as it says here, they desired this prediction, and then Prabhupada says, and we are following in their footsteps. Well, you're doing more than following in their footsteps, Prabhupada. Actually, you fulfilled it and are fulfilling it, you know. I'm just saying that, and I'm not saying that in any way to minimize, like I said, the previous acharyas. They had the desire and they're working towards it and they're instructing it, and then here is the person that actioned it. And like we were hearing yesterday, because every Wednesday we have Prabhupada meditations here in Matchless Gifts, and the speaker, Yuga Kishore Prabhu was the speaker yesterday, and he was sharing that if you let's just think about that when you're 70, you know, some people, you know, people could be maybe fit and active in this, but to think, I'm quite cozy where I am, and he was cozy in the Radha Damodar temple. I mean, what he had in terms of, from a spiritual perspective, he was in the spiritual world, quite frankly. And he left, and he didn't just leave, I'll go to Mathura, I'll go to Jagannath Puri, okay, you know, but he crossed the ocean and he came to the Bowery, you know, in New York. It's not very nice, it's a bit dirty and that. So at the age of 70, and it's like, yeah, it's not something to be scoffed at, you know, what he's done.
Yeah, so true. Yeah, this paragraph, very powerful. I really like this point about that the Lord made a prediction, and if the Lord makes a prediction, then the statement was that he fulfills that prediction through some of his devotees. So, you know, it's just like, it reminded me of the Gita when Krishna said to Arjuna that basically, Arjuna, everybody on this battlefield is already dead. I already killed them all. The question is, do you want to be an instrument in making that happen? And if not, then, you know, basically in Bowery language, you know, get the heck off the battlefield, because I'll get someone else to do it, you know, kind of thing. So, but it's already been done, but he's going to empower, you know, his devotee to make that happen. And then, of course, Prabhupada, as you mentioned, is humility. Next paragraph. Regarding his devotees, Lord Krishna told Arjuna, Kunteya pratijanihi na me bhakta pranashati. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee will never perish. Bhagavad Gita 9:31. The point is that the Lord himself could declare such things, but it was his desire to make the declaration through Arjuna, and thus doubly assure that his promise would never be broken. The Lord himself promises, and his confidential devotees execute the promise. There you go. The Lord makes so many promises for the benefit of suffering humanity. Although the Lord is very compassionate upon suffering humanity, human beings are generally not very anxious to serve him. The relationship is something like that between the father and son. The father is always anxious for the welfare of the son, even though the son forgets or neglects the father. So it seems like that's been going on from time immemorial. The word anukampina is significant. The Lord is so compassionate upon the living entities that he comes himself into this world in order to benefit fallen souls. Yada yada hidharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. I was told some years ago I haven't seen it myself, but that's famous from the original Mahabharata, black and white, that somehow that verse gets spoken and it's very dramatic, So. Bhagavad Gita 4:7, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. So, yeah, very, very instructive verses and purports, although yesterday when we were reading, the missus over here was kind of saying, God, it's really dragging on a bit, isn't it? Come on.
I didn't use those words.
I know, I'm just extrapolating
Putting
and
words
interpreting. But basically the point is, but basically the point is that there's just so much instruction in all of these. So here we see the merciful, magnanimous nature of the Lord, that he himself is willing to come into the material world. What to speak of his pure devotee who came to the Bowery, God himself comes to this despicable place, basically, with all due respect. The material world is a nasty place, and he comes here specifically to save us, and he sends his representative to save us. And as I'm saying that, of course, I'm remembering the, Christian, I think it's John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but shall have eternal life. For all you Christians out there, you're like, whoa, did John Nitai just, so I remember that was drilled into us in Bible school when I was a kid. But so, we love the Lord, and the Lord sends, either comes himself personally or sends his representative to help us.
All right, final paragraph. Thus it is out of compassion that the Lord appears in his different forms. Lord Sri Krishna appeared on this planet out of compassion for fallen souls. Lord Buddha appeared out of compassion for the poor animals who were being killed by the demons. Lord Nrsimhadev appeared out of compassion for Prahlad Maharaj. The conclusion is that the Lord is so compassionate upon the fallen souls within this material world that he comes himself or sends his devotees and his servants to fulfill his desire to have all the fallen souls come back home, back to Godhead.
Terrible.
Thus, Lord Sri Krishna instructed Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna for the benefit of the entire human society. Intelligent men should therefore seriously consider this Krishna consciousness movement and fully utilize the instructions of Bhagavad Gita as preached without adulteration by his pure devotees. That's interesting. On the back of Gita Jayanti, well, yesterday for us, but when this goes out Friday, but that, as we were saying, as Prabhupada came and basically brought the message of the Bhagavad Gita. And I was thinking this compassion, and obviously I can't, it's gone now. We read recently that a sign of someone who's advancing or, on the path is like they have compassion. You develop compassion, and we've read it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a quality that's developed.
In some of our recent, maybe in the regular.
If anyone remembers, put it down.
No, not in this one. What else? Something else.
We're reading so many things at the moment. God only knows.
But it made me think when I read it. It's just a day or two ago, and it's interesting. And it's come up like here because I was thinking, how compassionate am I? It made me think like that. It did. Maybe it was even.
You're very compassionate.
No, I was thinking like that, and my mind started thinking, okay, I think I might have been in a temple room or something, and my mind was thinking, okay, if someone walked in and they kind of tripped, okay, I guess you would, are you okay? But, I was trying to think on how many different, as you go up, what levels and of compassion, that's the norm, it's it's basic thing, but how compassionate, as devotees, are we, and if we are, it's then you would be careful how you're speaking, you're behaving, because that's compassion as well. What impression is that leaving? What mark do you leave on someone? Like that. Just to be honest, we were just at the morning program and I was rushing out the door, and then someone was just talking to me, and it's interesting, different natures, because they like to. Hug a lot and that. And I gave you a hug in the morning. Why do you need another one? Because that's my compassion. And it was interesting. So I said, bye. And I waved. And they were just looking at me. I was like, bye. And then I turned to the altar, bye. And I waved to Krishna. And I left. But it's interesting because for them, I was thinking it wasn't so compassionate for them, because there was that, their need was that physical touch or whatever. Yeah, I'm just saying compassion, if you break it down, it's really, it's not just black and white, and it's very personal and individual,
Yeah. Compassion, sensitivity. Again, the word sensitivity is there.
Yeah, anyway, compassion, that's the word for today.
Okay, compassion is the word for today. So go about your day and be compassionate. Think about it. Am I being compassionate in this situation? And it's coming up to Christmas. It's a time of compassion. It's like So
you can share with us in the comments your examples of your compassion this week. How's that?
Or lack of compassion. Or when you feel like, God, I should have been more compassionate. And it's hard because it does have to be balanced with not being overtly sentimental about things, Okay, we're gonna go. So bye. No hugs on the YouTube. Air hug. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.